I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, Victoria.
Okay. So as you can see here, I uploaded a shapefile showing the Nairobi County. Now, this is just to give us a visual that enables us to limit sort of our area of interest. One thing I noted when uploading files onto the map platform is that it's best to upload sort of a boundary line rather than a full polygon, because of there's no option of changing the styling methods for a polygon to create, let's say, a transparent layer, or a no option of no fill. So next up, we're going to load up the Landsat geomat. So in the surface reflectant, we have the annual category, and we'll start off with the Landsat 8 geomat. Now, as you can see in the description, there's a description about the data set. Now, this data set has a spatial resolution of 30 meters and is available annually from 2013. So we can add that in. And now here you'll see just this, the shapefile again helped us limit our area of interest. And we can, from this view, we can see sort of a general view of the built up of or urban areas in this, in the Nairobi County. And if you zoom in on this section, you can see a pretty clear view of this urban or built up area, shown by the abundance of red and blue and a little bit of green roofs. So clearly we can see the urbanization here. Now, to improve our sort of the temporal range or of data available to us, we will add the annual geomat Landsat 5 and 7, 5 to 7. Data 5 and 7 actually data set to our map. So again, we can see here the spatial resolution of this data set will be 30 meters and is available annually from 1984 to 2012 in selected areas. So this gives us a wider range to work with. So I'll just add this onto the map. And I will set the timestamp for this to be the earliest possible. That's 1984. Yeah, and as we can see here, this is what Nairobi looked like in 1984. And obviously, if we zoom into the sort of, I've turned it off for a minute, this is what it looks like in 2020 using the Landsat 8 geomat, and this is what it looks like in 1984. We can clearly see this area that had previously zoomed in. Does not look like any urbanization was there in 1984. But when we look at it in 2020, we can obviously see there's quite a bit of an expansion in the 36 years from then till now. We can also change the sort of the temporal, the timestamp of what we are viewing. For example, we can turn this Landsat 5 and 7 geomat off and work with the Landsat 8 and check. Oh, yeah. So previously we were viewing the difference between 2013, not 2020, 2013 and 1984. I can set it back to 2020. Yes, and still the same conclusion. There was no urbanization around this section that we zoomed in. in 1984. So there's clearly a big change within the 36 years. We can use the compare tool to sort of give us a better visual of the change. We can first use the 2013 data set and put it on the left. And then we can add the 1984 dataset or choose a closer timestamp, 1990, and put it on the right. Oh, 10. Yeah. So we can zoom out just to get a overview. So on the right, on the left is the 1984 geomad layer, and on the right is the 2013 geomad layer. So using the comparison tool, we can slide across and see the urbanization or urban area was concentrated around this center part. But when we expand it, we can move the slider, we can see there's quite a bit of expansion. So in the south direction for that area. We can also use the NDVI style for the layers to have a better understanding of how the change in urbanization occurred and also the effects that it had on the environment. We can set the NDVI for both layers. So again, on the left is the 1984 and on the right is the 2013. In the NDVI, usually there's the values range from 0 to 1, in where 1 is vegetation and 0 is usually definitely no non-vegetation areas. So we can see here there was quite a few green spaces around the northern part of Nairobi in 1984, and also on the western and southwestern part of Nairobi County. But as the years changed, we see sort of those green spaces, especially around the southwestern area, have disappeared or been built over, including this patch here on the northwest. We can clearly see there has been quite a change in the land cover for that area. Also using these NDVI values where 0 is quite a strong red, we can also sort of track the expansion of the urban area from especially in the center of Nairobi County. From we can see there's a small area in 1984, but there's been quite a bit of expansion in this area. We can also change the years that we are viewing to sort of get a better feel of it. So we can do the 19 period in the 90s. and move this to the most recent year that we have. We can pick another year, 90. So you can also have a view of that, where there is quite a difference between the 1984 and the 1995 period for Nairobi County, but we can still see there's quite a lot of expansion has occurred between those two periods, the 1995 and 2020, especially in the northwestern area and the southwestern as the expansion continued for the urban areas in Nairobi County. At this point, I would like, does anyone have a place of interest that they would like us to examine for the same?
Thank you very much.
Could we do the same for Cape Town?
Sure.
For Cape Town in South Africa, is that possible?
Yeah. What years are you interested in?
So 1984 and 2020.
We can start off with the RGB view. So the 1984 seems to have quite a bit of cloud cover. So there's patches in the data set, but is it clear enough for what you'd like to view?
No, it's fine. Let's just see. Or maybe we try 1990 and 2020.
Yeah, much better. So on the left is the 1990 view, and on the right is the 2020 view. We can see, especially the first thing I can notice is the sort of the green spaces due to the expansion of the urban area here, especially in this section, are sort of reduced. Would you like to see the NDVI view?
No, that's fine. Just wanted to have an idea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Any other volunteer?
Yes, unless there's someone else, I want to see my Maun, MAUN. '90s and now is okay.
So the left is the 1990 and the right is the 2020 data set. So there's quite a big change, especially in this area. And the center of the place. Would you like to see the NDVI view?
Yes, please. This is like a tourism place, so the greenness will be interesting.
There seems to be an increase in the green areas for between 1990 and 2020.
So, hello? Is
Yes.
it? Okay. Is I think the river, yes, the river. Then in the 90s it was dry, and
Yeah.
yes, that's why that line is the river passing through the village. Is the one on the western?
The one on the
In the middle of the city, actually.
this.
Well, okay, no, that's the airport. And then next to the airport, this green line that goes diagonally, that's the river.
Oh, okay.
It was dry in the 90s, and then now it's back to normal flow. Yeah, it's interesting to see. So,
Thank you so much, Victoria. At least everyone can see the value of having a GeoMAD product. It's a product which our colleagues have worked on to make sure it's cloud-free and it has a lot of value. This is the first platform which offers GeoMAD service. We started with Sentinel-2 and now we have it for Landsat. Perhaps anyone else who wants an example, for example, my colleague Paul Joshua might want an example of Kampala. We would like to see, and then we go to Kigali, just for fun, just to see how things are trying to change, if Victoria doesn't mind.
Sure. For the same years, 1990 to 2020?
Yes, please.
There seems to be
In case it doesn't load on time, we can always go to the next one.
Yeah. 1995.
So this is also an opportunity for Paul to add some comments. So if you've noted from Kampala, there was a new highway which was built somewhere from the south, from Entebbe to Kampala. And since the new road was done, there's been a lot of development which can be picked from the imagery, just where your cursor is going towards the south. Yeah, because it's always a journey where you keep seeing the lake as you go up. Yeah, you see some road on the, as you're moving, there you go. Then also inside Kampala, there is also sometimes you might have traffic for 3 hours if you are not careful, especially if you're moving from the university to Nakasero, etc., etc. Those are interesting experiences which Paul can add. Otherwise, if there's no comment, we can go to Kigali. Here, Joseph has some information. So Kigali, they are planning to, they have actually started constructing another airport to the south of Kigali, in some flat area to ease congestion. And also, Joseph, can you comment further?
Yeah, actually, that challenge called Bugesera. So it's also Kigali City.
Yes, and I know you live. I know you live in Kachiru.
No, actually, now I'm living in Chikondo. I'm shifted actually.
Okay.
That's a fancy place.
I used to stay at Nyaratarama.
That's a fancy place, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also this language is like our Bantu language, which we all speak in the region. I wanted to think maybe Deborah wanted an example of Ife, or maybe she's tried on her computer and she's very happy with the results.
No, I'm not interested in Ife. We've done a lot of land use, land cover studies there.
Okay,
So,
okay. Oh yeah. So thank you so much, Victoria. I think our colleagues have seen what is happening. Joseph, any comments, sir?
I was saying that for Kigali, between 1990s and 2020, it's like everywhere has been built. So the city was, the growth was like 1,000 something percent. So it's really interesting if you try to see the geometry.
Yeah, especially with the planning and the streets. I think Rwanda was the first one to do the digital streets, which were available in OpenStreetMap. Also, I think Victoria has a very good experience with OpenStreetMap and QGIS, which she can add to some of the work she does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sorry, Bako, for joining us late. Welcome, sir. We were waiting for you, but we continued. We'll share the recording with Bako. Also, for the purpose of Bako is that if you don't mind, Victoria, just a small one on the chat. I've put an example of where Bako is calling from, and just showing an example would be nice to include him. Here we are leaving no one behind and no place behind. So Niami, Bako, this is we are demonstrating the GeoMAD service with Landsat. Victoria is our colleague. She's showing Landsat 5 and Landsat 8. We are trying to show the situation in Niami in the 80s or 90s and how it is right now. And you're welcome to comment.
So the view on the left again is the Landsat, the 1995, and the one on the right is the 2020 GeoMat.
So at least with this one, I can see myself personally because Paco has taken me here to Niami.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Hi, everyone. I think, as you said, it's very, very dry now. And this year in the Fleuve Niger, the sea that you can see, the water is not like the previous year. It's very, very dry now. Which month is this? Is it the current situation?
I think with the average, they have looked at the scenes which are most clear, and this could be around the dry period when you don't have clouds.
Okay, yeah.
This was the month of January.
January.
When we visited.
January.
Yes.
Okay. January is dry, yeah. It's
yes.
Dry.
Yeah. Yeah. Where we go
because
to 43 degrees. Like sauna.
Yes. And you lost your passport?
Of course.
Okay.
Good experience.
Yes. So this is with GeoMat.
Yes. So the situation in 2020 shows the growth around these big hotels and the river, and also your agreement center somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
I hear now there's a Radisson Blue, so things are growing.
Yeah. We have a Radisson Blue now.
I know only Grand Hotel.
Yeah.
So at least this was just for visualization, and also we have our colleagues from OSS who can give an example. And if you don't mind, you could do an example of Tunis for our colleagues from OSS in Tunisia.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Paco. It's never too late to join us.
Yes, thank you.
So this is Tunis in Tunisia.
This looks nice. They're already here. I have Hamda and Jib. What you're seeing could be the situation of these lagoons. And this tells us Africa, there is quite a lot that we only discover now through Digital Earth Africa platform. So thank you so much, Victoria, for taking us through this great presentation. I wish to ask for any comments or plus, as we are very grateful to Victoria. And if in case, Victoria, you had any last comment?
No, my only comment would be I found using the Landsat GeoMat, especially for when you use both the Landsat 8 and Landsat 7 because of the temporal range, you can actually track roads, when were roads built. Like you can actually see in certain years, this road wasn't there, but in this particular year, in the recent times, there's clearly a road to, especially within towns or new towns cropping up. So that's.
Yes. I think, Victoria, the example of Kampala, we could see there was quite something. And also our colleague mentioned about Kigali, where they have done a lot of exponential growth. Also, I wanted to ask Victoria if I could share the link for the story map, or is it something I can put in this chat for anyone who wants to follow up?
Yes, please. I'd actually hadn't used the story map in this presentation because I couldn't share it. The GeoJSON file wasn't showing up on the map, but once you add it, everyone can feel free to use it together with the boundary.
Thank you so much. I've also put it in the group in case there's anyone who wants to see it. Thank you so much, Victoria. I wish to ask our colleague Habat Mil if we can talk and see where he's calling from. Otherwise, any question from any one of you? I know, Eileen, you had an example of a city you wanted us to look at.
No example. It was interesting to see the other cities and see the development in the area.
I thought you wanted to look at Kilimanjaro.
Yes, you can take a look. There's no problem.
Okay. Just to make sure you're not left out. So in the case of Kilimanjaro, there is a city which is just next to Arusha. Then there's a mountain which is closer to the border with Kenya. And we have our brothers and sisters, Nyaga, from this area. And you can see up north is quite some cloud cover. So getting a good imagery of the Kilimanjaro area is not so easy.
We can try a different year, see.
Yeah. So on average, there's no way a mountain can be cloud free, but sometimes you might get lucky. That's where the power of Sentinel-1 comes in handy. But I think with the Sentinel-2 GeoMat, it was possible to remove most of the clouds. Just experience with Sentinel-2 GeoMat.
We can add the...
Yeah. As you can see, it was quite some task. Yeah. So it means with the goodwill of the providers of the Sentinel, maybe in 1 or 2 years, you'll have a very good comparison of some areas. So remember when we were being told about the Sentinels, who was quite some years ago, and now they've become a reality.
Yeah, so the mountain, and you said the town is somewhere in here?
Just around the mountain areas, the area has really grown.
So the earliest for Sentinel-2 will be...
Yeah, 2017. That was really nice. Yeah, you can see it's really cloud free and it really works. Yeah. So we'll just try to see the power of Sentinel-2 GeoMat is quite powerful. Thank you so much, Victoria. Any comment from Stella Mutai?
No comment on my side, just lovely work, Victoria. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're also waiting for you to greet us.
I'm well. Sorry I've missed 2 sessions. I was going through work training. Yeah, but hopefully to present something in the next 1 or 2 weeks. Yes, but I love the growth and the wonderful work Victoria has done. Nice work.
Thank you, Stella. Victoria, everyone is clapping for you. Thank you so much. Any
Thank you.
last comment before we